Nana Enz Oppong, a name whispered in fear, a name synonymous with darkness. He was a man who haunted London's underbelly, his life a tangled web of crime and violence. 4 times he stood trial for murder. 4 times the city held its breath. Oppong's story is not for the faint of heart. It's a descent into the abyss, a chilling reminder of the fragility of life and the brutal reality of the criminal underworld. He was a predator, they said, a man who reveled in chaos and bloodshed. But was he guilty? Or was he a victim of circumstance, a man trapped in a nightmare he couldn't escape? The truth, as always, lay buried beneath layers of deceit, betrayal, and violence. To uncover it, one had to journey into the heart of darkness, into the world that Nana Enz Oppong ruled, a world where life was cheap and death was a constant companion. This is his story. The first murder trial sent shockwaves through London. A young woman found floating in the Thames, her body a canvas of brutality. The evidence pointed to Oppong. He was a known criminal, his past a tapestry of violence. The prosecution presented a compelling case, painting Oppong as a cold-blooded killer. Witnesses placed him at the scene, their testimonies damning. The jury listened, captivated by the horror of the crime. Oppong, however, remained stoic, his eyes betraying no emotion. Days turned into weeks, the tension in the courtroom palpable. The prosecution rested, confident in their case. Then a twist. Oppong's lawyer, a seasoned veteran known for his tenacity, played his trump card. A new witness, someone who claimed to have seen the real killer. The courtroom erupted, the judge struggling to maintain order. The prosecution scoffed, dismissing the witness as a fraud. But doubt had been sown, a seed of uncertainty planted in the minds of the jury. After days of deliberation, they returned with a verdict, not guilty. The second trial followed close on the heels of the first. Another victim, another gruesome discovery. This time, it was a young man, his life brutally extinguished in a back alley. Once again, all signs pointed to Nana Enz Oppong. The prosecution, fueled by their previous failure, came armed with a vengeance. They presented DNA evidence linking Oppong to the crime scene. Witnesses, some new, some from the previous trial, recounted tales of Oppong's violent nature. The city watched, transfixed, as the drama unfolded. Oppong's lawyer, however, remained undeterred. He meticulously picked apart the prosecution's case, exposing inconsistencies and raising questions about the validity of the evidence. He argued that Oppong was being framed, made a scapegoat for the city's fears. The trial became a battle of wits, a chess match played out on a stage of justice. The jury, burdened by the weight of their responsibility, deliberated for days. The city held its breath, waiting for their verdict. In the end, they reached a decision, not guilty. The courtroom erupted, a mix of cheers and gasps. Oppong had walked free again. The third trial was the most sensational yet. A prominent businessman found dead in his own home, the victim of a brutal attack. The case sent shockwaves through the city, shaking its very foundations. And once again, Nana Enz Oppong found himself at the center of the storm. The prosecution, their reputation on the line, threw everything they had at Oppong. They presented a mountain of evidence, including fingerprints, DNA, and eyewitness accounts, all seemingly pointing to his guilt. The media had a field day, portraying Oppong as a monster, a threat to society. Oppong's lawyer, a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness, fought tooth and nail to defend his client. He argued that the evidence was circumstantial, that the police, desperate for a conviction, had fabricated evidence to frame Oppong. The trial dragged on for months, each day a grueling test of endurance. The city watched, captivated by the spectacle, torn between their fear of Oppong and the possibility of his innocence. The jury, faced with a daunting task, deliberated for weeks. Finally, they delivered their verdict guilty. Ghosts of the past. The fourth trial. The fourth trial was different. The victim was not a stranger, not someone Oppong had allegedly targeted in the shadows. This time, it was his own brother, found dead in their shared apartment. The city gasped, shocked by the audacity of the crime. Had Oppong finally gone too far? The prosecution, emboldened by their previous victory, presented a compelling case. They argued that Oppong had killed his brother in a fit of rage, driven by a deep-seated hatred. They painted a picture of a toxic relationship, fueled by jealousy and resentment. Oppong's new lawyer, a young and ambitious woman, faced an uphill battle. The evidence against her client was overwhelming, yet she refused to give up. She dug deep into Oppong's past, uncovering a history of abuse at the hands of his brother. She argued that Oppong had acted in self-defense, that he was a victim, not a murderer. The trial became a battle for Oppong's soul, a fight to reclaim his humanity in the face of overwhelming odds. The jury, haunted by the specter of Oppong's past, struggled to reconcile the man before them with the monster the prosecution portrayed. Their verdict, when it finally came, would determine not only Oppong's fate but also the city's perception of justice. The price of freedom. The jury found Nana Enz Oppong not guilty. Again. The courtroom erupted, a cacophony of gasps and murmurs. Oppong, his face etched with fatigue and relief, stood motionless as the judge dismissed the charges. He was a free man, acquitted of all 4 murders. Outside the courtroom, chaos reigned. The families of the victims cried out in anguish, their pleas for justice falling on deaf ears. The city watched, bewildered and afraid, as Oppong walked away a free man. How could this be? How could a man accused of such heinous crimes escape punishment? The answer, like everything else about Nana Enz Oppong, was shrouded in mystery. Some whispered of jury tampering, others of witness intimidation. Some believed that Oppong was truly innocent, a victim of circumstance and a flawed justice system. Others believed he was a master manipulator, a devil who had somehow managed to cheat the hangman 4 times. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: Nana Enz Oppong would forever be a ghost that haunted the city of London, a chilling reminder that some wounds never truly heal. Scars on the city. The impact of Nana Enz Oppong's trials extended far beyond the courtroom walls. They left an indelible mark on the city, a collective scar etched into the psyche of its inhabitants. Fear lingered in the air, a palpable presence that seeped into everyday life. Parents clutched their children a little tighter, their eyes darting nervously in crowded streets. The elderly bolted their doors, their sleep disturbed by nightmares of violence. The city that never slept seemed to hold its breath, haunted by the specter of unresolved crimes and the chilling possibility that a monster walked among them. The trials also exposed the fragility of the justice system, its vulnerability to manipulation and the limits of its reach. For many, Oppong's acquittals were a miscarriage of justice, a testament to the power of wealth and influence. They fueled a sense of disillusionment, a growing distrust in the very institutions meant to protect them. The judges, juries, lawyers, and witnesses involved in Nana Enz Oppong's trials carried a heavy burden. They were tasked with unraveling a complex web of truth and deceit, with deciding the fate of a man accused of unspeakable acts. Their decisions, made under intense scrutiny, would have far-reaching consequences. The judges, arbiters of law and order, presided over the trials with an air of solemnity, their every word scrutinized for bias. The juries, chosen from ordinary citizens, faced an unenviable task: to weigh the evidence, to separate fact from fiction, and to deliver a verdict based solely on the information presented to them. The lawyers, both prosecution and defense, fought tirelessly for their respective sides, their every argument, every objection, a testament to their commitment to their clients and the pursuit of justice. The witnesses, thrust into the spotlight, recounted their stories, their memories tested, their lives laid bare for all to see. The saga of Nana Enz Oppong became a cautionary tale, a reminder of the darkness that lurked beneath the surface of society. It was a story whispered in hushed tones, a source of morbid fascination and lingering unease. The name Enz became synonymous with crime and intrigue, a chilling reminder of the city's vulnerability. Criminologists and legal scholars studied the Oppong trials, dissecting the evidence, analyzing the legal strategies, searching for answers to questions that continued to baffle. They debated the merits of the prosecution's case, the effectiveness of the defense's arguments, and the role of public opinion in shaping the outcome of the trials. The media, ever hungry for a sensational story, revisited the Oppong saga, rehashing the details of the crimes, speculating on Oppong's motives, and interviewing those whose lives had been touched by the trials. The public, captivated by the drama, devoured every detail, their fascination fueled by a mixture of fear and morbid curiosity. Nana Enz Oppong may have walked free from the courtroom, but he could never escape the shadow of suspicion that followed him. He became a pariah, a figure shrouded in mystery and whispered rumors. His name, once a whisper in the criminal underworld, became a stain on the city's consciousness. Oppong disappeared from public view, his whereabouts unknown. Some said he had fled the country, seeking refuge from the ghosts of his past. Others claimed he had retreated into the shadows, his thirst for power and control undiminished. The truth, like so much else about Nana Enz Oppong, remained elusive. He became a phantom, a figment of the city's collective imagination, his legend growing with each passing year. The legacy of Nana Enz Oppong's trials extended far beyond his own fate. It sparked a citywide debate about crime and punishment, about the role of the justice system, and about the delicate balance between individual rights and the need for public safety. The Oppong trials forced London to confront its own demons, to acknowledge the darkness that lurked beneath its vibrant facade. They exposed the flaws in the justice system, the limitations of the law, and the enduring power of fear and uncertainty. And so the trial of Nana Enz Oppong continued, not within the confines of a courtroom, but in the hearts and minds of the people of London. It was a trial without end, a haunting reminder that some questions have no easy answers, and that justice, like truth, can be a slippery and elusive concept.